Fiery protests erupting France, all across France, after the government forced through controversial plans to raise the country's retirement age from 62 to 64. President Emmanuel Macron resorted to constitutional powers because he did not have enough votes to pass the bill. At least 310 people detained overnight in clashes between police and protesters who say the pension overhaul is unfair and unnecessary.
Yeah, the people in France, they just not gonna take it. As you heard, this pertains to Macron's government seeking to increase the country's retirement age from 62 to 64. He did not have the vote, so he resorted to using the Constitution, totally going against the will of the people. I guess he doesn't want another term. We shall see. The people of France get to make that decision. But French President Emmanuel Macron will trigger special constitutional powers to enact the proposed pension reform bill. Prime Minister Elizabeth Borne announced Thursday in the National Assembly, which had not yet voted on the proposal. Now, members of the French Parliament also made their voices heard, protesting the decision through solidarity. Check out this video. See, that's how you do it. All that genteel stuff that we got going on in the United States of America, baby, they making it known. Those were members singing the French national anthem, drowning out the voice of Prime Minister Borne, letting them know they stand in solidarity with the people. Since Macron did not have the votes he needed for his scheme, he enacted Article 49.3. And here's more on what that article does. Article 49.3, the French Constitution enables a government to push a bill through the National Assembly, France's lower house of the parliament, without a vote. But over the past decade, Article 49.3 has increasingly been seen as an undemocratic tool used by the government to strong arm lawmakers. You got that right. They need to go ahead and change Article 49.3. Right? And let's hear from the union leader, what this leader had to say. By resorting to constitutional Article 49.3, the government demonstrates that it does not have a majority to approve the 2-year postponement of the legal retirement age. Laurent Berger, the head of the CFDT. Now, protests have been ongoing since mid-January, with millions showing up across France to protest this decision, and labor leaders are calling for more. Let's look at this. Labor leaders in France called for new demonstrations, with several thousand people converging at Paris Place de Concorde and in several other cities in France on Thursday evening. So, Mayor, it seems as though the brothers and sisters, family and friends in France are not just gonna sit idly by and make this easy for Macron.
Yeah, I listen. I think this is a national, or I should say, an international attack on workers. We see, and I know the French government, Macron saw it. Studies that said the 4-day work week is a better idea. This idea that we need people working longer and more is based in nothing other than greed. And Macron is absolutely disgusting in the fact that he's willing to invoke 49.3, which is absolutely undemocratic. We take away the voice of the people's house. That's the French people's house. And and it is absolutely disgusting when you see Bowen doing the work in the let's say trying to get the far right extremists of French politics to partner with them. And even the far right extremists are not willing to partner with them and saying that after this invoking the 49.3, this government should step down, including the prime minister. This is the problem where you have presidents and prime ministers on the side of big business, not just in America, but everywhere, where you're trying to squeeze more out of people. The idea that we're living longer so we can work longer is a false idea that people should not buy into. It started in 1983 in the United States when they upped the retirement age, where you get full retirement from 62 to 67, and we see it happening now in France. It is absolutely disgusting, and I love to see union and people taking the streets since January, we've seen millions of people, and it's exciting. And I hope the same thing happens here around work and retirement age.
I do too, Mayor. We need to take a page out of their book over in France. They don't just sit by, and you know what? They don't deify elected officials. And that's our problem here, one of the problems here in the United States. So Macron is obviously throwing his whole political career away because he wants to work the people of France just 2 more years. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense that he is doing that. Far-right National Rally Party would file a no confidence motion. The mayor just brought that up. And communist lawmakers Fabien Roussel said such a motion is ready on the left. So when you got the left and the right coming together, Macron, you're done, brother. One communist lawmaker called the presidential power a political guillotine. Others called it a denial of democracy that signals Macron's lack of legitimacy. Man, I gotta give it to him, man. They calling it what it is. The silver lining of this is that many parties are coming together saying hell no to Macron. More importantly, the people of France, this is the most important thing. The people of France have had enough, as they should. Now I'm going to say it one more time, one more good time. America, we need to wake up. We need to take to the streets as well. Take it to the streets, especially if the GOP takes power in 2024. Last June, the Republican Study Committee released a budget plan, including a number of suggested reforms for Medicare and Social Security, including raising the eligibility ages for each program to 67 and 70 in an effort to strengthen the viability of the program. Some presidential candidates like Republican Nikki Haley have also proposed raising the retirement age as part of their platforms ahead of the 2024 election. Now, something is wrong with this, man. You just laid that out. And if the people of America don't get a clue really quickly, they're gonna be able to do to us again what you laid out that they did in the 80s if we don't get a clue from what is happening in France and take to the streets and let them know we're not gonna take it, and do not even entertain electing anybody who says they wanna continuously increase the retirement age in this country.
Yeah, and I think we gotta recognize a few things. And the first one of those things is raising the retirement age is actually lessening the benefits for retirement. So you're actually cutting, when you raise someone's age, when you put people in the workforce for more years, you're actually cutting their benefits from Social Security. So we don't even need to play games and mince words about that. That's the first thing. The second thing we need to recognize and be honest with ourselves is saying that people can work longer is actually killing Black people earlier. We know that maybe rich white people with college educations can afford to work 3 more years and not have it affect their lives, but for Black people, the idea that people can work longer is not a real thing. This is a racist idea, and we should really dive into the fact that trying to tell Black people that they have more years to work doesn't make sense when we have shorter lived experiences than white folk, right?
Yeah,
our life expectancies are shorter, and those years when people are working longer, it's because they're trying to benefit or offset the life cost that's associated with the small monies they're getting from life earnings and also what Social Security can offer. So it's absolutely disgusting. It's a racist policy, and we need to name that. And on top of that, who the hell needs to be working till they're 70?
I know, it makes no sense unless they just want to do it, but they shouldn't have to do it because they have to do it. And that is the problem in this country. And as we're seeing around the world, that these wealthy elites don't want working class people to have any type of quality of life. It is immoral, it is insane, and it shouldn't happen. America, let's not be complicit in our own demise.